this is going to be my live show today. Hoping I did TikTok last week in combination with YouTube, and it's not working today. Love technology. So just wait a few minutes for people to come on. I'm going to have a good live show today. We're going to really focus on answering questions today. So, yep, just look at this. Just sitting there doing nothing. Maybe no TikTok today. That's okay. YouTube is my priority. Don't tell the TikTok guys. Just a little bit, maybe that's a little old school to be doing TikTok. What is going on with this thing? Just sitting there frozen. Sometimes this technology can be frustrating. Here I was ahead on TikTok, and now I'm behind on TikTok. I mean, I was doing TikTok first. TikTok, man, TikTok, holy crap. I find that what's interesting, so as somebody who, is there people able to ask questions? It's not happening yet. I find as time, what? So literally says TikTok is not responding. As time goes, as my numbers go, I'm so grateful. Hello, Andy. Thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate that. As my numbers go up, and Andy will attribute to this, and all the moderators will attribute to this, a lot more idiots and meatheads and ridiculous trolls. So I'm so grateful for the moderators. I'd like to remind the moderators, though, that I do like tough questions, and just as long as there's not profanity or hatred, like someone can say, "Hey, I think Todd's a liar." Well, cool, that's your opinion. But if you're f-bombing, if you're and you're being disrespectful to somebody else, and I have no tolerance for that. So TikTok is not going to happen. I'm just going to give up on it. It's just sitting there spinning, which sucks. Technology is amazing. I really appreciate it, but sometimes it goes down on you, and just not great. So what did I want to talk about today? Oh, I get a lot of this. It's been pretty rampant, especially on TikTok. There's like this whole, hello Royal, thanks for tuning in today. There's this whole people that are saying, and I'm not commenting and I'm not responding to it. Leave them alone. Leave the Sasquatch alone. James, what are these people talking about? You got to understand. So James Penner, maybe TikTok will work. James Penner met me because he had tree breaks right beside his property, right beside his house. The Sasquatch were coming down. What is it? 150 yards from your house. It was pretty close. It was really exceptional. And oh my God, the whole thing is not doing well. Anyways, they come down to his house. When we do research, James, or any of my expeditions that are on here, we attract them. They come and see us. So it's really, when people are, especially when people are harking on me for leave them alone, you know what? They don't want to be left alone. They're talking to me. Like they're interested in me. They're building a relationship with me. These are literally my teachers. I hope you can understand that. Like, I don't, maybe in the past you could say I sort of chased them a little bit, but even then, not really. I mean, when you really understand, like expeditioners will say, when you really understand what we do and how I do my research, they choose to come around. They choose to interact with me. So this is a real relationship that we're building with them. And I think that's really, with pretty much all researchers, it's going to be very universal that the Sasquatch are choosing to interact. They're coming to us. They're teaching, and I think, in my opinion, real wisdom with this species comes from knowing that they have more to teach us than we have to teach them. And with that being said, so if they're teaching me, if they're coming down and giving me lessons, well, why would you tell me to leave them alone? It's not possible for me to leave them alone. They're coming to me. So, it's ridiculous to be saying that. Oh, it looks like TikTok's going to work. Well, that only took 20 minutes. I will answer the odd question, but before TikTok starts, remember that YouTube's my place. I do have favoritism, and it is, TikTok's not going to work for very long. My phone is not juiced up enough, and I'm not going to be charging it. So let's do some questions. So I just wanted to talk about that today, just in that people are saying, leave them alone, stop harassing them. I'm not harassing. Are you kidding me? Like especially talking about, I know, so James is on here. Like, James, they're trying so hard to communicate with us, like to think those tree breaks and the way they bust things all over the road, to think that that has, like, they're talking, they want to be heard. They knew that. So where James lived, they were just going nuts, busting trees over the road and letting themselves be known brilliantly. And they were doing it for people. They were doing it to show the people they didn't want logging to happen. James and I weren't even sure why they were losing their crap. So like they were just going nuts with all the tree breaks and the bends and the twists. So and then a short time after, we saw the logging trucks and stuff come in. And what really sucks about that is they were never heard. And that's also another reason to not be disrespectful and say I should leave them alone, because they want to be heard. Like they had a voice. And I was even really kind of upset when I did the video. I'm still trying to go live on TikTok here. When I did the video telling the world what Sasquatch was trying to communicate, it didn't get picked up. People didn't really seem to care about it. And that made me really sad, because it's, I don't know, it was an important message, and they just went unheard, and it just sucks. So sorry here. I'm just gonna hit go live. Looks like TikTok is gonna work, and I'll get down to some more questions. So good evening. So I saw a question right here. There's Royal James. Boom. I love that. Boom. So David Daniels, do you think they'd be found if they want to be left alone? Oh, so even that question. Do you think they'd be found if they want to be left alone? Do you think they'd be found if they want to be? No, they don't want to be left alone. Like I was just talking about. I think I just answered the question pretty clearly. Are we finally live on TikTok? Oh, 3, 2, 1, we're going to TikTok. So thank you. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So here, real quick, come here. So this is my boy Thaden. Hello. Come pop in. This is the punk ass that had a sighting this year with David Avocado Wolf. I was, thanks, kiddo. I'm so proud of that kid, because y'all should know that. So I really like David Avocado Wolf. He's a really cool guy. He's a little bit controversial, maybe a lot. He's got a lot to say, and no, he's very controversial, and he's got a lot to say, and I have a lot of respect for what he says. Agree with him or disagree, he's got a powerful perspective, and I really appreciate that. But this is so important, guys. This is to do with frequency. So I tell this to my expeditions all the time. If the Sasquatch want to get a hold of you, they're going to get to you. They'll get me away. They'll find a way to separate us, and they'll get to, like, because sometimes I take 3 people, maximum 3 people. And once in a while, I actually have 3 people that will show up for the expeditions. That happens a lot. And they'll separate a person and get them alone and latch onto them, and, and I mean in a positive way, that they'll teach them, they'll school them, they'll have their little private lessons. And so what happened for Thaden and David Avocado Wolf to have success, these two, like, again, I like David, and David and I have had like a bromance. We've been really talking and getting along so well. We did an amazing live show that's on YouTube that was so fantastic, so illuminating. And I thought, I felt like we were getting along really great, which we were, in truth, getting along very, very well. And but then he met my son, and these two clicked. Like they had chemistry. They were talking about the same things. They have similar interests. David was mentoring my boy about stuff, because David is highly knowledgeable about plants and animals and health. He's such a cool dude. But they got on this frequency that actually kind of separated me. Literally, we're around base camp doing things, and my son and David are going off having these conversations. And I'm like, man, I'm the guide. I'm Todd Standing. And but I love it. I love it. And I embrace that. And what happened? One of my e-bikes broke down. And for some reason, I did something didn't really make sense to me. I told David and Thaden to go off back to base camp, which made no sense. I literally think Sasquatch mind spoke with me to do this. I really know it. I felt inspired to say, go guys, go. And they got ahead of me, about half a mile. And then they had that sighting of a Sasquatch, because they were on the same frequency, and that frequency matched what Sasquatch wanted. You understand how powerful that is? I'm seeing that so much. And even if you don't understand quantum and you don't want to get into frequencies and those sort of things, it's just these two individuals had tremendous chemistry, and you could say the universe or whatever incredible gift happened, where these two people, again, a 15-year-old and a 55-year-old, right? That just get along like peas and carrots, had this incredible encounter that literally would not have been the same if I was there. Because at that time I've actually, even because of the Avocado Wolf expedition, because of what Sasquatch has taught me this year, my research has changed dramatically, like so dramatically. It's very, very much shifted. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a really good feeling. And I'm not going to talk about that today so much, maybe next live show. And I hope Paul comes in today, because I need to talk to Paul. Even if Paul sees the live show later, I'm trying to be quiet about this, guys. I'm going to be quiet because I may have a pretty big announcement next week. So I didn't finish my dinner here. My other big bite. See what we got here. Why are the structures you find mostly devoid of tracks? They're not. Seems there should be lots of tracks around them. I'll tell you, the tracks I look for are purposeful. The Sasquatch leave them there purposely. I'm not going to put any more food in my mouth. I think that's really disrespectful. I apologize. But you got to understand, the Sasquatch, give me a second. The Sasquatch are the greatest trackers that have ever lived. There's no human that can track like a Sasquatch. You need to understand that, because they're born and raised tracking in the wilderness. They grow up playing hide and seek, tracking each other, trained by the greatest trackers who've ever lived. This is not arguable. This is a fact. I've seen them. I know they're trackers. They follow footprints. Bears, wolves, mountain lions, all the predators, all the top apex predators out there, they don't follow tracks. They don't give a crap about tracks. Tracks mean nothing to them. Maybe they'll follow some scat. Oh, they'll get cued by scat for sure. But tracks mean nothing to them. Busted branches, marks, means nothing to wolves, bears, mountain lions. But Sasquatch follow trackways. I've seen it. They do it because they hide their tracks too. So with that being said, when you're dealing with the greatest trackers that have ever lived, you think they don't know how to hide their tracks? They can hide their tracks. No problem. And I would say, honestly, 100% of the time, when there's tracks that are structured, they did it on purpose. Sometimes they'll bang their foot on the ground even. That happened with Survivor Man. When the Sasquatch rock knocked on episode 1 of Radium, Survivor Man Bigfoot, they boom in the ground. We heard the boom. There was a footprint. The greatest tree break of all time. All my expeditioners will know this. It's this really cool tree break. The tree break's only about, the tree's only 3.5 inches, but it's busted, and a tree that's like 30 yards away is bent under this tree. I call it the greatest tree break of all time. It's absolutely astonishingly amazing. And they boomed a footprint in the ground. And that footprint is now gone because the track is 3 years old. Coming up, it was 2 years old, so 3 years old now. So the track's kind of washed away. It was on an angle, but they leave them on purpose. And see, Willie Doit and Betty don't. Willie Doit, Betty don't. Who asked that question? You really got to understand the level of tracking skills these beings have. That's why cameras, like, are you serious? Game cams? These are the greatest trackers that have ever lived, guys. Come on, give your head a shake. They're going to see that you walked out there. They're going to watch your tracks walk out there. And then human beings seem to have this thing in their head that's preposterous to me, that you can hide a game cam. No, you can't. You never hide a game cam. It's got a piece of glass that shines like a crystal. Are you kidding me? Like, you can never. That is preposterous. What are you thinking? You cannot hide a game camera from the greatest trackers that have ever lived. You can't hide your trackway from them. They notice bent blades of grass as you're walking. Never mind a freaking camera you dug in the ground. All you can't. I mean, come on, guys. Just give your head a shake. It's ridiculous. So I hope that answers the question a little bit. So Eric says, sorry if you have covered this subject already, but have you witnessed any signs of Sasquatch using tools? Yes. Actually, I don't think I have. So the coolest tool I've ever seen. This is a tool, guys. I've seen them do things with rocks. I know they'll pick up rocks and sticks and bash them around a little bit, toss them. This is, I think this is the only one ever. I have to think for a minute because I could be wrong. Been doing this a long time, like decades now. But only ever one tool ever in my whole life I ever witnessed. And it was very substantive. What they did was in Kootenay, there's the Kootenay salmon, and there's a river way over in the middle of nowhere. And there's a giant boulder in the center of this river, in a slow flow area of the river where the salmon spawn. And I would see marks from Sasquatch tracks on this big rocks. They walk out to the rock, and how do they catch the salmon? They spear them. And I saw the spear. I could see the spear. They left it there. So they didn't take it with them, but there was a long stick, let's say about 8 feet long, just this perfect size, sharpened at one end. We're gonna lose my TikTok, guys. Sorry, it's crashing and having a hard time over there. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Somebody on TikTok asked me drone tech. I'll talk about that in a second. But that was a tool, and they left it there. And I was given salmon that had been speared, and I took that. I made a note of the spear size, the hole, and it matched that spear. So what they must do also, because they just let it sitting by a tree, they must also be cleaning it off really clearly, because a bear would come along. But then again, bears don't go into Sasquatch habitat unchecked. Sasquatch own their habitat. They're not going to allow a bear to come in there. They probably were defending that piece of area, because I've never seen bears there. And bears should be... Sasquatch will defend territory against wolves. They'll defend their elk against wolves, 100%, against mountain lion, 100% they're doing stuff like that. So, yeah, really cool stuff. Someone asked me about drones. Guys, I have the DJI 3T. I spent a whole year using that. The drones are useless, because what us city people don't know, I'll say us because I'm a bit of a city person. I spend half my time in the city, only half in the wilderness. But they're so goddamn loud. You can't. I had that thing hovering at 3,000 feet, and it's crystal clear loud. And if I was a Sasquatch and I heard that, I would step under a tree. That's a very suspicious sound. It doesn't sound like an airplane. That's what they sound like. That is not inconspicuous. It's very loud, very obvious. And the Sasquatch just take a step under a pine tree and have a nice day. Since I'm losing TikTok, let me answer just one more question here. There was a drone tech question. Became the number 2 member of this team. Who's that? Bigfoot Society. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like Bigfoot Society. Oh, there he is again. Hat and mustache. And one more thing from TikTok. That wasn't a question. Lit up hat, mustache, gift to... Okay, you guys are talking weird. Basically, vinegar. I don't even know what you guys are saying. Come on, guys. There's no good questions on TikTok. People are liking it. The number of your viewers... Oh, hit an all-time high. Okay, I don't know what that is. Hello from Florida. Come on, guys. Where's the questions here? I'm just looking for one question, because I'm going to lose TikTok in about 5 minutes. I can't see any. You guys are saying good stuff, but that's cool. Okay, let's go back to YouTube. Eric Sandman asked that question. So I am a full-time researcher. Guys, oh my God, guys. There's going to be some stuff. So Patreon supporters, oh my God. We're going to go nuts here. It's going to be crazy. I've got incredible photographs to share. Never before released photographs and video stills that I have. And so much information. So get ready for it. I'm going to put it up on my website. I'm going to hammer this hard. So supporting on Patreon, $10 a month minimum, $20 a month gets you second tier, and 30 plus gets you a whole lot more. I'm going to hit that hard, because I want to get out into the community. I want to help. I want to be able to spend time. Sasquatch research is my job. If you're passionate about it, this is all I do, guys. I do live shows. I make videos about Sasquatch. I make movies about Sasquatch. I take people on an expedition for Sasquatch. I do live those Bigfoot shows and stuff for Sasquatch. I talk to people about Sasquatch, answer emails about Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Sasquatch. That's all I do. 100%. I'm a director, writer, producer, only because of Sasquatch. And if you care about this subject and it really matters to you, go to discoveringbigfoot.org. I think it's right here. Look at that. It's all right there. Or Patreon. So on my website, you can do it through a monthly donation, but the donators are going to get huge returns. Like, I have so much stuff to start putting out there. I'm very excited about it. In the past, my Patreon's just been, I haven't been dedicated to it. There's some big changes happening, some big sponsorships coming on board. So it's really, some big growth is going to happen. See, I've been growing and expanding through the cooperation. All these incredible people coming out. It's absolutely awesome. I've booked 3 freaking brand new PhDs this year. I was trying not to get too many new people on, because I have so many old people coming out. But I couldn't resist. These guys are just brilliant human beings. absolutely astonishingly into 3 incredible new PhDs coming out, besides all the PhDs we already have, wildlife biologists, and then, the brilliant men and women that come out and work with us that are so absolutely amazing. So I absolutely love it. TikTok, it's going to end right away because the screen keeps dying. I don't know what's going on. So so Killer Fuzz, that's a weird name. I saw a small hairy monkey running through the woods, pulling trees as it ran. Dad says it was a monkey swinging. My dad and I don't know Bigfoot. Okay, well, they do that 100%. So pulling on the trees. So he wasn't. So in the areas I do my research, it's Rocky Mountain Douglas fir and lodgepole pines are the dominant species, and Rocky Mountain Douglas firs big time. Those Christmas tree looking, we have oceans of forest like that. That's the Pacific Northwest. The vast majority of trees are Rocky Mountain Douglas. So as they grow up, they stop putting lower branches on it. So there's trees, but the lower branches are really like there's no point in having them because all the sunlight fight is for the top, right? That's where the canopy is, even though it's pine needle leaves. And as the Sasquatch move, if you've ever tried to do that, if you're really fast, not only so you get these tree obstacles, but if you're really smart, if you're a Sasquatch, you'll grab hold of that tree and use it to pull yourself through, even to change direction. It's absolutely awesome the way I see them do this. So, again, I have a little trouble talking about this stuff because it's huge. But what the Sasquatch that picked me up, when Seeger picked me up and ran with me, he held me in one hand, and I could feel him using the trees to get through to maneuver with the other hand, like swinging around them, whipping past them. Hell, I've done it when I come down hills and I'm trying to slow down a little bit. I'll grab a tree or two, and even it's so awesome to shift directions as you're coming down a hill with a tree. And the Sasquatch do that so well, so brilliantly. I'll tell you guys, bipedalism, which is what we are, can be looked at as enormously disadvantage. An enormous disadvantage. It exposes our heart, our genitals, our lungs. It makes us way more open, a bigger target. When you get down on all fours, your heart goes back, your shoulders are on the front, and you're protected by the rib cage. Your genitals are on the back side. They're a weakness, let's be honest, right? So it's very advantageous to be a quadruped. You're much more dangerous, much more compact, much more balanced. But the Sasquatch take bipedalism to this next level. It's so exceptional. They are freaking amazing. And that's one of the examples of it. They literally, I wouldn't call it a monkey. Well, maybe I would. There's nothing wrong with calling it. It's monkey-like, especially when they're smaller. The way they'll just rip. They can actually, when they change direction, their feet will come right off the ground as they're whipping around, and then they release just at the right time. And they could actually, if they were coming downhill, I could see them almost freaking floating. I've seen that in the trackway. They'll take 2 steps, jump, hit the next tree, spin off of it, take 2 steps, jump, spin around. It is absolutely astonishing, guys, what they can do. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, on TikTok. We're going to lose the feed in just a second. Quickly, one of the most incredible things I have ever seen in my whole life. So I'll tell you what gives you some perspective. So I'm chilling out at this one particular spot, and I got a really good view of some high ground to low ground, and I see some deer in the low ground area, and I see this mountain lion coming across fast, and this mountain lion's running, and I can't hear anything. I could hear a squirrel fart, clear as day. I can't hear this mountain lion. And these deer, they're positioned properly. The ears are back. They're all listening because they're prey. They don't want to be killed. And this mountain lion flew through the air. And one deer just felt a sting in the back of its neck and was killed by the mountain lion. I had no idea what happened because the mountain lion ran at it so silently. And you think, well, only a quadruped could do that. I remember seeing a Sasquatch, so a totally different area, but I knew the terrain really, really well. And there was a big pile of snow-load trees that just made a huge, huge mess. So I'm looking, and I see this Sasquatch come running, and he's booking it, grabbing the trees, doing all that, moving so fluidly, and no sound. But what blew me away, so the Sasquatch is running, he goes to that pile of trees. I know it's a mess. I'm like, he's going to have to slow down. He didn't slow down. He was speeding up. He sped up. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to crash. It's going to be a mess. Hear all the sound. He speeds up. So he's running like this. He literally brought his legs up to his head, turned himself into like a spear. So he reached down to touch his toes, where he turned himself into like a bullet shape. So he went, jumped, made this spear shape, flew through an opening that I didn't even see. It was probably like 8 feet off the ground, barely big enough for him to fit through. And as he came out of it, so he was in this beautiful like spear shape. He came out of it, flowed right back on the ground. Boom, boom. I didn't even hear a boom. Just was just silent because he was running on the sphagnum moss. I was, I think I was more terrified than in awe. I didn't know a being could do that. Like it was absolutely nothing short of awesome. It reminded me of that mountain lion. But mountain lions, I mean, they're powder puffed, gentle paws. They move. They're so well designed. The Sasquatch feet aren't like that, but they can move absolutely deadly silently at high velocities. It'll terrify you. Another thing I saw once freaking blew my mind in Montana. I believe there was a grave of a Sasquatch, and I had all this evidence to show that. And I was trying to look for it, but the Sasquatch were getting very aggressive back with us. And we actually had to stop at one point. So we gave up. So I just lost TikTok. We gave up on that particular research. But then one day, just through like Mindspeak, I saw a coyote coming out of that area where we thought there was a grave for a Sasquatch or some kind of area like that. It had a bone in its mouth. So it's coming out of this area. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a coyote, the way they can move fluidly. Like they are freaking awesome. They can move like when they get into open spaces, they're incredibly fast. Very, very exceptional. So this coyote comes out of this area way off in the distance. And I could see it had something in its mouth. I assumed it was a bone. I wasn't sure. I thought it was probably a Sasquatch bone. Two Sasquatch come booking out after this coyote. And I'll tell you, the coyote had about a 50-yard advantage. The Sasquatch caught up to it. Oh my God. I almost thought this is supernatural. Is that Sasquatch floating? So as he caught up to it, he whacked it in the ass with his foot. This coyote's booking it full speed, like so fast. Probably going, 40 miles an hour. They're quick, maybe faster. And the Sasquatch caught up to him, whacked him in the ass. That bone fell out of its mouth, and the Sasquatch pursued it a little more. The Sasquatch behind snapped that bone, disappeared into the trees. And then other Sasquatch caught that coyote and whacked it. He got up right on it, whacked it its ass, and went, ay, 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 and kind of stopped to fight with the Sasquatch. He's like, you goddamn well. The coyote was squealing like it was going to be killed. And the Sasquatch let it go, but I'll tell you, that coyote will never go back into that habitat. And if that was a Sasquatch bone, he learned his freaking lesson, right? So amazing. What you're going to learn from me, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for tuning in, is I have an absolute reverence for this species. Like the stuff that I've been able to experience has just left me in absolute awe of them. I have so much respect and admiration for Sasquatch that I feel it's such an honor and privilege to be able to do this research full time. Thank you very much for your support. I'm very grateful. Why don't you ask them, Todd, why are they here, and see what they say about that? Why are they here? I've never asked that question. Why are we here? You got to understand that that's a really great thing to say, and I appreciate that. I wouldn't want to ask that question though, because I already know what they would say. Why are you here? What's your purpose? Why is a deer here? Why is a bear here? We're part of the circle of life, right? So, and but the reason I wouldn't want to ask that question is a complex question, and mind speak is very difficult for me. I literally get videos. So again, I'll use the same example I use all the time. If I showed you a video of my daughter, so you see my daughter and she's drawing a picture, and you would see that video playing. It's never a photograph. It's always a video. So she's moving around, doing something, smiling, and then you feel the emotion of how much I love her, how much I adore her, what a treasure she is to me. And from the emotion I sent with that picture, you would realize that's my daughter. But that's a simple thing. And a lot of what they do when I'm even translating it for the people as a Sasquatch are feeding me these perspectives, I don't know how right I am. I'm just going with what I feel, and it's tough. It's really tough. I'm getting better at it, but it's hard to be able to feel those emotions. Like when an expeditioner was having what was amazing, totally amazing, is I'm literally able to feel. So an expeditioner has his sister that he hasn't seen in a long time, and he misses her. And I don't know about this, obviously, right? I have no idea. He's never told me about that. And the Sasquatch sends me a picture of this person's sister, and the last time they spoke and had an argument where they fell apart. And I'm actually literally able to feel the expeditioner's emotions. So the Sasquatch is picking up their emotions, their feelings about this person, sending me back that person's visual, and attaching an emotion to it. And I felt like it was almost a little bit of a violation of the way that person felt, because I could feel their guilt, I could feel their pain. And then they started showing me that expedition, how much he loved his sister and how much he misses her. And then I start communicating that to the expedition. He goes, I didn't tell you I have a sister. I go, I know. You were at a park and this happened, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, how could you know all that? Because the Sasquatch are giving me those details. But the emotions I was feeling, I really had to hold back. Because right now I'll tell you, like, that guy loves his sister. He misses her. I felt the emotions were so strong. I felt teary-eyed in the guilt that he felt for not having a sister. And that's the beauty of Mindspeak. Can you imagine when you can, because Mindspeak cannot happen without emotions attached to it. Do you understand that? If someone just sends you a picture, it means nothing without the emotion, right? I could send you a picture of my dog or a dog. Do you want to kill it? Do you want to kick it? Or do you love it? Or is that your pet? Is it a member of your family? I don't know. Without emotion, there's no words in Mindspeak. You don't talk. You don't go, bah, 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 bah. There's no sound. It's a visual with emotion attached to it. And what is amazing as we ascend to that level, and it's coming, ladies and gentlemen, Mindspeak and telepathy is absolutely real. If you don't believe it, you need to get on board. Universities are teaching us now. This is legit stuff. This is old school. And what's going to change is there's going to be so much honesty. And I'm so looking forward to those days. You won't be able to lie anymore. You won't be able to be evil. You won't be able to do evil things. Well, feel it, like the Sasquatch feel it. You're going to be transparent, so brilliantly transparent that, but not only that, what's exciting to me is the clarity. Like, you know how that person feels because you felt it in their mind speak. You know how much they're passionate about something. Like for you right now, you're having to read my body language, my nonverbal communication, NVC it's called, and pick up, my movements and my little nuances and whatnot. But that's not true. There's a lot of you out there that can feel me right now, can't you? Like, I think the majority of you out there, Todd Stanning's telling the truth. That's who I am. This is really transparently me. And when you see me talk about things, when I talk about my experiences and the information and the wisdom that I get to pass on to you guys, you can feel it, can't you? You can feel it. Like it's in your heart, and it's very soulful, and it's a beautiful thing. So, and that also reflects into that people have on the opposite end of the spectrum a hatred for me. The jealousy pops up, the negativity that's within them pops up, and it's really ugly. So and that happens especially to people who are being very honest and transparent with you, that they'll reflect back that negativity in the negative person that much more. And that's why we shouldn't really be too concerned about the haters that say negative things and crap like that, because it's really just a reflection of them. You'll find that people that accuse honest people, like Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson, oh my God, the most honest, amazing, beautiful human beings. We're so fortunate that those men, it's not even fortunate, it's not a coincidence. Sasquatch chose them to be the bearers of one of the greatest pieces of Sasquatch evidence in existence today, because there's tracks and incredible footage that goes with it from 1967, for God's sake. But they chose those men. And then the people that over time have chastised them, mocked them, besmirched them, been disrespectful to them, they are that, aren't they? If you ever got to know those people, you'd realize they are disrespectful, deceitful, dishonest people. And it's reflecting in what they say about these good, honest people. So Jody Williams says, thank you, Todd. I trust you more than anyone. See, and that's right. What makes you trust me, Jody? It's almost ironic. I scroll up and boom, there's I was just talking about that exact same thing. What was the Scarlet encounter you had with Bigfoot? What was this? Oh, the scariest? Oh, there's been lots. Lots and lots. I don't want to talk about the scariest. I've talked about that. I did a video about it. I just got totally terrified. But let's talk about, what about the second scariest? The scariest is when I had that night vision and that crazy, evil-looking Sasquatch approached me. I talked about that quite a bit. How about the second scariest? Well, the video with the flare, I don't even think I was scared that day. Like, I'm screaming, get out of here! Get out of here! People think I'm having a panic attack. I'm not. I'm just trying to be I'm trying to portray a lot of emotions to get rid of the bear, but it's not a bear, it's Sasquatch. I just want to be left alone. I was freaking tired. I was starving. And I mean tired, like you can't even. Like physical exhaustion from hiking for 8 days in the mountains and no food and no sleep. Those are levels. Like, okay, if you don't have food, you get cranky. If you're physically tired and hurting, you get cranky just from physical exhaustion. Then you don't get to sleep. Ow! Like that's actually you go into a form of shock I'm very familiar with. Um, so you don't want to do that. It's a really bad place. It can kill you. So it's really, really bad. Don't do that. But I was in that state. And so it really affects your mentality. And I was just kind of trying to freak out because I was really pissed off. I wanted to sleep. I was exhausted. I just needed to lay down. So freaking tired. But, just trying to think of the second scariest. Find them. Just, I just kind of seem to let that stuff go, to be honest. You know what? You know what it is? I'm not concerned about the negativity. Even moments, like I look back at what I consider the scariest moment, it was such a good learning lesson. It's like I needed that lesson. So the scariest moment, let me tell you this. This is how I've changed, and I'm changing. The scariest, most terrifying moment I've ever had with Sasquatch changed my life for the better. And if I'll tell you right now, I needed that. I needed to know how badly I really wanted to be a Sasquatch researcher, right? So every fearful moment, every super exciting moment, it's always a lesson. And I look back at it as a real positive thing. Being charged by bears, being charged by mountain lions, being attacked by a bear. These are powerful lessons that have changed my life so dramatically for the better, like so dramatically. And so I don't even look back at them as bad and calling it scary. I just think of it, a scary thing to me is just me getting over a really powerful paradigm and growing significantly. Um, because I grow, I change. Like we should all of us should be so devoted to becoming better human beings, to growing into better potential. You must be devoted to that. My whole freaking life is devoted to that. I eat, I work out, I ice bath, I get infrared radiation, I get proper sunlight, I get clean water. I go on and on. She legit. I'm taking vitamin supplements, I'm taking krill oil. Like I'm so obsessed with my physical health, with my mental health. I'm studying Gaia. I got all these mentors that I'm working with, all these books that I'm reading, As a Man Thinketh right now. um, I'm so devoted to that health, that mental health with me, with my family, with my children. And I want to pass that all on to you guys. It should be just like, can you imagine, how people are like obsessed with drinking, they get obsessed with drugs, they get obsessed with porn, they get obsessed with, all these negative things. Turn that shit. Get obsessed with your health. Get obsessed with your wellness. Get obsessed with your mental wellness. Get obsessed with your emotional health. Get obsessed with that stuff. Like I follow Jordan Peterson. I love Andrew Tate in the things that he teaches me to do and what not to do. And that's something that we all have to do because there's no blueprint. You are very special. Every single one of you out there. You're so absolutely wonderfully unique. You might take a little bit of you might see something from Andrew Tate that really is like, nah, that's not me. But that's a lesson of what not to do. You don't do that. But see, it's a lesson either way, and it's growth. Jordan Peterson, I love the guy. He's outstanding. Total mentor of mine. And once in a while, he says something like, I completely disagree with that. So I turn that lesson into what makes me. And now I have a better understanding of me because I'm studying these philosophies and I'm absolutely obsessed, focused on what it takes to be a man, on how to raise my daughter to be an incredible, amazing woman, about what I want for even you, my community, what I want to teach you guys, what I want you guys to learn. For God's sake, guys, drink healthy, clean, drink some clean filtered water. I have an Alexa Pure filter, drink freaking clean water. I literally, guys, had skin cancer. It kept coming back. I know now it was a combination of the water I drink and the sunscreen I was putting on my skin. Can you imagine? The sunscreen causes cancer. Look at guys, I literally in the last 2 years, I've never gotten so much sun in my whole life. And you can maybe see a bit of a scar there. Cancer's gone. It's going away. My dog, my mom lived with me for a little while. She was having some trouble. And she fed my dog tap water for like 6 months. Dog got cancer in the belly. Ice bath her, clean water. The cancer is almost all in totally remission. Like, guys, these are, You can't be spiritually healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy, emotionally healthy if you're eating crap food and putting bad water into your body. These things matter. Go get some damn exercise, for God's sake, every day. Ask my son and my daughter. We work out 6 days a week. So we're absolutely devoted to health and wellness. And that translates into, what does that have to do with Sasquatch research? Everything. The Sasquatch will judge you so profoundly on what you're eating, how you're taking care of yourself, the damage you're doing to your body. You're addicted to chocolate bars? Why don't you get addicted to protein powder? Why don't you get addicted to farm fresh eggs that are organic? Really? Seriously, this is what I'm saying. I'm addicted to organic farm fresh eggs, to organic, amazing, healthy, grass-fed meat. I eat bison. I'm addicted to it, right? I'm addicted to the organic carrots that I get. Like, get addicted to these incredible healthy things and be obsessed with it, because it matters. It matters for the planet. And Sasquatch wants you to do this. They are the most organic, unbelievable, naked, walking around, grounded beings in the history of hominids. Like, so grounded, so attached, so spiritual. You can't become spiritually awakened if your body's toxic, if you're abusing yourself. You won't have the clarity of mind. You'll mess up your pineal gland. Your brain won't work properly, and you just can't function. And it's so important. So, hey, there's my Brian. Todd's Brian. I know, maintenance worker, ENT. What the hell does ENT mean? So tell me, bro. I think they are interdimensional. What does your heart feel? What's a heartfelt opinion? My heartfelt opinion is, I don't want to talk about it. I think it's just too much. I'm not ready for that. It's too woo for me. The fact that they can mind speak, the fact that they can use telekinesis, precognition, all these abilities are absolutely astonishing. And they can factually do that. I know this. I don't have to have a discussion with anybody. I know it. I've seen it out in the field. If you don't believe me, then whatever, go experience it for yourself. I can just tell you about the experiences I've had that absolutely tell me they have precognition. Do you understand what a big deal that is? They can talk to themselves in the past about what's going to happen in the future. This is quantum reality, guys. We are actually proving this stuff in quantum physics. No, sorry. It's been proven for decades in quantum, in high-level quantum physics. They're just not releasing it to the public. So Mindspeak is amazing. I can read your damn thoughts. I can feel your intent. Do you know how absolutely amazing and world-changing that is? And the fact that they're manipulating frequencies, telekinesis to move rocks and break trees, that is unreal spectacular. And quantum physics substantiates those truths. Why? Please, guys, don't push me up. It's literally interdimensional is out of my comfort zone. It's literally out of my comfort zone. But I have to also be honest. I saw something once. Oh my God. So let's talk about it, because I'm not going to lie. So I was on an expedition with Kyle and another expeditioner. We put some apples out in the up on the trees. And then I had some mind speak, so I was sleeping. We forgot the apple bag out there. Clearly, we forgot. And the Sasquatch is looking at this apple bag out there. And I'm like, oh, crap, I remember forgetting it. So the Sasquatch takes the apple bag, goes to a tree break that I know, a tree break I know. And that tree break, though, it's late. The Sasquatch can see really well at night. But I can't see. So I can see around everywhere, but I can't see past this tree break. There's like a black space there. And literally, the Sasquatch takes that bag and floats it. So he uses telekinesis. I don't know if I was dreaming this or not. I'm just telling you what happened to me. This is the God's honest truth. Floats this apple bag into the tree break. It disappears. And I wake up and I hear a funny sound. I look over on the table. The damn apple bag is on the table. And I woke up the expeditioners and I went, hey, guys, sit up for a second. I go, hey, Kyle, that apple bag, where is it? He goes, oh, I think I left it out there. I go, yeah, you did. And now it's on the goddamn table. Was I dreaming? Am I crazy? I don't know. But I'm telling you guys, Kyle and the other expeditioner will substantiate this truth. They remember leaving the apple bag out there. Kyle carried the bags. It's just a mistake we made. It's no big deal, right? We can go get it the next day. But to see it on the table, and I woke up and said, wake up. And then there it was on the table. And we were like, oh man, did they just interdimensionally transport that through a tree break on the table? I don't know. That is one piece I will not deny, that it seemed like some kind of interdimensional weird thing happened. And the only other logical explanation is somehow that I don't even know. I can't explain it. I saw that happen. The expeditioners that were there, including Kyle, was very convinced that transpired. He remembers leaving it out there. He didn't hear me leave the trailer, come back, put the bag there, or there's just I don't know. That's just the reality of it. So maybe they can interdimensionally travel. Maybe I witnessed that, but it's just not enough for me. I just don't. I just it's too much, guys. It's like cart before the horse. I'm not able to go down that road yet because I'm just digesting all this stuff about Sasquatch, and it's so much. I bet a lot of you out there are like, holy crap, Todd, you're getting a little woo. I ask you to be patient with me. I ask you to challenge me. And if you don't see these things the way I do, I still respect your perspective and I expect you to respect mine. I've been doing this a long time. Can I be wrong about these things? No, you may think so. But when you've experienced the things I had, I'm freaking boots on the ground. I'm muddy, dirty. Like my face is all scratched up, beaten up. Like you see hole marks in it from either smashing my head on the trailer or jamming a branch in my forehead or a branch scratches across me. Like even the physical body is really good. Like I'm really fit and really strong. I could take care of this. But the skin has been weathered and hardened, and I'm out in the freezing cold, which damages your skin. Then I'm out in the burning hot, too much sun. I'm really very abusive to the face and the skin and the body. But that just goes with the territory because I am hardcore. I will go kick ass. I will go, man, so hard out there in the wilderness. So that's just I actually I really enjoy that. So I could say I don't know any other way, but I've actually really come to terms with I'm just the kind of guy that lives on the edge. If I'm not living on the edge, I'm not growing, I'm not excited, I'm not happy about my life, and I'm not manifesting great things if I'm not really I'm just taking up too much space if I'm not living on the edge. I know that's an old cliche, but that's just it makes me happy to feel that way. I'm the kind of guy that will crawl over broken glass to achieve a goal, and I'll do it like honorably and respectably because it's just how I fulfill my masculinity, and it really feels good to be able to say that kind of stuff. I'm really proud of that, and I'm teaching that to my son, and the antithesis to my daughter, to be feminine, loving, nurturing, healing, and promoting all those things in her. So because this is what you want to talk to me about something is how are Sasquatch masculine and feminine? Man, that is so perplexing to me. I don't really, they're so high up above me that I don't see any evidence either way. I don't see the females being nurturing and loving and feminine. And I don't see well, the males are very masculine, very assertive, very powerful, right? So, but actually, maybe that's not true because I see that in the tree breaks. The females are very non-ego. The females are very precise and kind of pretty tree breaks. And the males are like egotistical, smashing, breaking, crashing, crushing. So I do see it a little bit, but there's so much more that I don't know about, and it's a topic I'm very interested in. Hello, Todd and chat. Always keep it up. This is from Black Diamond DC. Thanks for tuning in. Fabio says, "School them. They're animals, sir." Well, I'm an animal, so and there's no. I'm not schooling them. I don't even have anything. I give them apples, and I feel lucky that they take those gifts from me. I have nothing to teach Sasquatch. The only thing I have to teach Sasquatch is what not to do, how to not become domesticated, how to not suffer from domestication syndrome, how to not become separate from nature, how to, all that stuff. I literally can't sit here and tell you one thing I can teach the Sasquatch, and unless it's to do with how, you know, the bad things, the what to not do, right? That's about all I can teach them. Like this is an experiment in what not to do. I can't go there and say, hey, people have this better, because we don't. There's not one thing. And believe me, I put a lot of thought into it and I can't come up with nothing. So please hit the thumbs up, says Andy. Thank you for that. Mindspoke, says Fabian. Hey Todd, my first live. Hey, and this is oh my God, Chill Child's Planet from Wisconsin. Thank you for tuning in today. To understand Mindspeak, watch Third Eye Spies video. Exactly, man. That's some powerful stuff, Royal. And you can see Royal Third Eye Spies. What a great movie. That's such a great suggestion. I should talk about that more often. Can you understand the potential in Mindspeak? Like they're doing, to me, Royal, it's kind of almost one dimensional. They're seeing an image and they draw it. They see an image and draw it. But when they get that image, I mean, it's so amazing what they do, but there's no emotion. I didn't hear them talk about that. And that's how mind speak can happen between, deer, moose, elk, dogs, and human beings, right? So very, very powerful stuff. I've learned so much from you, Todd. Thank you. You're welcome, John, Amber. I learned so much from you guys. I learned so much from these questions. I'm so addicted to this live show because it just helps me grow as a human being. And I absolutely love talking to you guys, and I always will. Yes, heaven communicates telepathically, but not animals. Well, and so, Fabian, we're going to profoundly disagree with that. There's a video. Um, brain's not working good today. I didn't get much sleep last night. There's a video from a lady who does mind speak with animals. It's called Diablo Spirit. It's a panther. And oh my God, I can't believe I forgot her name. I haven't spoken or talked to her in so many years. She literally proves, will blow your mind, that you are completely incorrect. She proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that Black Panther is mind speaking. There's skeptics, zoologists, all these incredible, brilliant people all around her. And she shuts them the hell up by finding out things that this panther mind speaks to her. And then she fixes a problem. It's, gosh, I can't believe. Anyways, just look up Spirit or Diablo, the Black Panther, and you will learn, you will get schooled 6 ways till Sunday about the reality of course, animals mind speak. That's preposterous. So, respect for your opinion, though. I've had one or many crushed soda cans and leave them lined up on my picnic table in the middle of the night. Really? They crush soda cans? Huh. Never heard of that. I can see how that'd be cool, though, for the boys to do, right? Thanks, everyone, for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. That's awesome, Andy. Tammy says, hello, Todd. Do you think that eclipses affect Bigfoot in a bad way? I wouldn't think so. In fact, I would think they would affect anything to do with them. I think it would affect them in a good way. I could see them doing positive things. I could see the eclipse being some kind of really cool energy that allows for a change and a growth, right? So I don't really see too much terribly negative about that. So Killer Fuzz, thank you for the donation, my friend. If you would like to make a donation that comes to me, YouTube thanks you for that donation. And I'm very grateful for this platform. If you'd like to make a donation to me, you can go to the website, discoveringbigfoot.org, which Andy put up a link to, or you can go to Patreon and make a donation. And believe me, there's stuff coming out on the website. I'm only coughing because I'm so damn dry. I didn't bring water. But there'll be stuff coming on the website. It's going to be very advantageous for everybody to be making monthly donations to get on board with this discovery process, help the discovery process move forward. It's a very, very important discovery. It's going to change the human species forever because it's really about mind speak and going up leveling into that. And as far as Sasquatch being called animals, they're hominids. So they're a very advanced hominid. We are hominids. They are genetically superior to us. I don't care if that pisses you off. If I put the best survivalist in the whole world, Survivorman, threw him out naked in the bush, he'd be dead in 2 months without technology. I'd come back in 2 years, Sasquatch would be thriving. That is superior. They're spiritually superior to us through mind speak, through their connection to nature. No doubt in my mind. You can be offended by that, and I apologize if that's offensive to you. I've never met anybody who's more spiritually connected through nature and therefore into the entire realm of life force energy and existence than Sasquatch. They're absolutely astonishing. Physically superior, as far as I can see, emotionally superior. Their emotions very in check, they're very controlled, very disciplined that way. Mentally, and even emotionally, I'd say through humor, they've taught me how they're far superior with the level of humor that they can, laughter and the joy that they feel that was just about hurt me. And then mentally, just like they're always, they are absolutely freaking genius, brilliant. If you've seen the chimpanzees, the game they do with chimpanzees where they show the working intelligence of a chimpanzee is far superior to a human. And I've seen that. And out in nature, the working intelligence, so mentally, they are far, far, far superior to human beings. And I can prove that beyond any doubt. So Killer Fuzz says, my dad and I saw Sasquatch when hunting north of San Antonio, Texas. It was pulling on trees to run. My dad insisted that it was a monkey swinging. Yeah, and that can be reasonable. Absolutely. I could see that, especially with a younger Sasquatch. They're slim. Like I was at the gym with my boy today. My boy is like 5'11". He's a $150. He looks so skinny compared to me. I'm 220. And I'm even though I'm So I'm about 6'3", I'm a little over 6 feet with my shoes on. And he's probably almost 6 feet. So I got, almost 4 inches on him. It looks like a little pips. He looks very small compared to me. Like I look much thicker, much bigger because I'm an adult, fully grown and matured. And he's just a growing boy. If you saw us, especially shirtless, with everything exposed, like he's lean, but he is, $150 compared to 220. That's a big difference and a lot of muscle mass. And with the Sasquatch, it'll be much worse. You'll get a 200-pound slim Sasquatch, maybe 250, and his dad's like 900 pounds. Can you imagine how skinny that would look? And from a distance, I could totally see that. I could totally see that. So could it be a monkey? Sure. They escape from zoos. People have chimpanzees in their house. It could have been. So you're going to have to make that decipher for yourself. But it's possible it was a Sasquatch. So obviously that was probably a long time ago. In San Antonio, my mom lived in San Antonio. San Antonio's beautiful. So there was a Texas Ranger that I talked with, or sorry, some Texas Rangers sent me a book written by an old Texas Ranger who had passed away from like the early 1900s talking about Sasquatch. And it was incredible. So I am 100% convinced that Sasquatch were in Texas, especially South Texas, where that. See, there's James's. I disagree. And maybe Fabian. I mean, have you had it? Like I've mind spoke with my dog. I've proven that. I've had dozens of people around watch me mind speak with my dog, and she does things that I just mind speak with her, and she just does it, and it makes sense to her. So really, really, yeah. So, anyways, thanks for the donation. Really appreciate it. Just do a couple more questions here. Let's see what I got here. Daniel Smith. They don't want to be referred to as Bigfoot. They prefer Alloons. Well, I totally agree with you, Daniel. That's why I try to call them Sasquatch. I think Sasquatch is a much more respectable term. My favorite term is Sabe. 100%. I love that term, Sabe. Sabe means transparency, honest. It's with the Blackfoot. So they have the 7 sacred teachings that are beautiful. I've talked about it before. And Sabe represents transparency, honesty, truth, that kind of integrity, right? When you have transparency through Mindspeak, you have incredible integrity because you can't hide things. When you open up and communicate, it's absolutely beautiful and totally wondrous thing. I really appreciate that. So, and when I say Sabe, it just resonates real nice. So that's my favorite way to refer to them as. But I also have to communicate with the public. And if I say Sabe, vast majority of people will have no idea what I'm talking about. Look at this. Got a little glitter here. You think I got a 6-year-old little girl running around the house? 2 weeks ago, she got out some glitter and it's everywhere. No more glitter in my house, please. People gonna think I'm a stripper or something. And last question I'll do. How long can they live? Whew. I just am so clueless about that. I don't know how they could really. So I hear theories about hundreds and hundreds of years of stuff. I don't buy that at all. I've seen elderly males, an elderly shaman, and he looked elderly because his legs were slimmer, like an older person. His arms looked slimmer, and he was kind of he was gray looking, so he looked older. How old was he? I don't know, but I'd like to see Seeger age. Seeger is the big dominant male. I didn't see him at all last year. In fact, I don't think I've seen him in a while. I would like to see him once in a while and see how he's aging. Because I've been around him for a long time. I've had some really good looks at him in the last 15 years. And so I can kind of get a perspective. If he's starting to look really old, then, that'll give me some idea. But I would really, honestly, the bottom line is like a little dog lives a longer life because they grow and then they hold that size and they don't get arthritis. They don't, they're just smaller and they live longer. A big dog has like one of the biggest dogs, a Great Dane, if not the biggest dog. They don't live past 7. They get arthritis at 6. I couldn't have a dog like that. They just pass away so fast. They get arthritis so quick. So in that kind of a comparison, I would think like, my God, Sasquatch literally, I know they're only 3 feet taller than me, which is a lot. But compared to I'm 220 and they're 900 pounds. Okay, they're a third taller than me and they outweigh me by, 300%. That kind of mass, and it comes on quick. I see them fully grown. If not at around 18, 19, by the 2021, I think they're fully grown. Maybe you could say let's go to 23, because you can see even as my son, who's an athlete, a football player, he's going to grow until he's 23, 24. He's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because he's got so far to go. He'll probably get to 240, be around 6'5", but maybe 250 even, I think. But that takes time to mature to that, right? But really, like at 19, you can really see the structure, the height. It's really there. There's just maybe a little more filling out to do. But with that being said, that much growth that fast, I would speculate that they could not live human beings. In fact, the other thing too is it's a freaking hard life out there, ladies and gentlemen. Like it's a very, very hard life. My native teacher, like he lived into his, early 90s, but he was so hard on his body. The cold, the grind, I don't care how tough you are. The winters are harsh, man. Even for Sasquatch, they gotta be harsh. -40 for weeks at a time, you know, and that's going to wear on you. It's wearing on me. You can see it in my face. I'm actually kind of proud of it. I don't do facials and that kind of stuff. This is what I've earned. This hard look that I have is I kick ass. I go out. I bust my ass in the winter. Even if not expeditions, I'm snowboarding. I'm out doing stuff in the winter. I'm training, so I'm getting it done. But yeah, I in my heart and from what I've seen, if I combine that, I think they kind of match us, probably close to matching us. So I think it's very, very similar. And I'm going to stick with that until I see other evidence otherwise. This is kind of new too. I think my perspective has changed a little bit just because I wanted to say they live longer, but it didn't make sense anatomically. And it certainly didn't make sense because human beings are really very stress-free, and that's not good. Stress-free makes you weak, but stress also can tax you to the point where it can, end your life. It's kind of like the candle who burns twice as bright burns half as long. That kind of makes sense. So I would really see that. So, anyways, thank you very much for tuning in today, guys. I really enjoyed this live show. I will be back next week for sure. And there's going to be videos like crazy coming out now. So 2 week, Throwback Thursdays tomorrow and Sasquatch Sundays. So I'm back on that. I'm not on Expedition anymore. Looks like I have a pretty cool announcement next week. Don't quote me on that, though. I got to really check something. But need to talk to Paul. I didn't see him on the live show today. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Lots to come. Be very, very excited because the discovery process is moving forward. There's all kinds of new information coming out. I got some really cool stuff that I want to talk about, but I have to go into the computers and into the emails and stuff and into my equipment and go have a look and dig things out a little bit. So I'm just getting everything organized because the expeditions are over and I'm just getting everything all pieced together and also planning expeditions for next year. So if you want to get on an expedition, just send me an email. You never know what's going to happen. Remember, I can only take 36 people a year. So that's 3 people a week for 10 weeks here. And then I do a week in Nia Bay. So 33, I guess. But I have 50 people that want to come back. Actually, it's 52. So the math isn't working out there, and I have to take out new people. So it's kind of difficult, but there's going to be some expansion happening, lots of new things. So stay tuned. I have tons and tons of ideas. I've written down all this paperwork, all this stuff to do because I really want to get back out to the people more than I have been in the past. And I have a lot more time to do work right now, which I'm super grateful for. So I'm busting my butt, doing everything I can to help this discovery process move forward. I'm very passionate about it. I wake up early, I stay up late, and my family sees it. I work like I'm so dedicated to this discovery because I'm so passionate about it because I love my life and I love doing this. So gratitude to all of you and all the support you give me to help me facilitate and move on with this discovery process that will literally change the world. It's so important. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye for now.